Sally and Emma, The Mystery of the Third Cup. James, Emma and I will be hiking down to the riverside cottage for breakfast tomorrow, Sally informed her trusty butler, with a note of excitement in her voice.
I will ensure there are tasty treats and warm tea, Mom. It's a lovely time of the year to spend down there,
James said, matter-of-factly, always keeping his professional posture intact. Emma, I'm waking you bright and early tomorrow, 5 a.m. in fact. We are needing an adventure, and I have just the right idea in mind. Oh, how wonderful, Sally, Emma exclaimed happily. Just what we need. Sally had quite unexpectedly inherited her great-uncle's unobtrusive mansion a year ago, and was still trying to absorb it all. It included a wonderful gentlemanly butler, James, who had grown up on the property, along with his wife, who cooked and cleaned, and brother-in-law, who tended to the gardens, most immaculately. For Sally, it was like stepping into a fairy tale of unusual circumstances. Her life had gone from a stressful 9-to-5 struggle to a miraculous adventure, in a wonderful and magical instant, when nothing made sense, yet everything fitted in perfectly. In a world quite hidden from life's harsh realities, Sally and Emma had been friends for 20 years, so it was a no-brainer that she would choose to share this beautifully mystical adventure with her. Life had been really tough on both of them, but they had survived it all. Now it was time for fun, doing things that felt good for their souls, because, well, now they could. How much further, Sal? Emma asked, as she wandered down the pathway, seemingly for over an hour. It was a breathtaking view. Trees everywhere, the land sloped slightly, which was only noticeable when you looked back. The trees were becoming a little denser, birds were calling in various birdsong. Easily 10 or more different varieties. I hear water! Is that a river down there, Sal? Emma shouted, hugely excited, as her pace picked up. It most definitely is a stream, Em. Sally laughed happily. And that's not all. We're nearly there, just a few trees up. I know you will love it. Emma stopped in her tracks, mouth gaping in pure awe, her breath catching in her throat in amazement of nature's perfection. Oh wow, I have never seen anything more beautiful. Emma gushed, as she took in the view of the log cabin, nestled on the hillside, between pine trees, hearing a small, steady river trickling over the rocks below, the wild birds calling as they started their day. It was a chilly autumn morning, the sun was just starting to rise in the distance. Come on, Emma, Sally happily motioned. James has breakfast set up, and we have some relaxing to do. They made their way up to the cabin's little porch. A large flask of tea awaited, along with a basket of warm croissants, fresh butter, jam, cheese and cream. There was also a selection of mini pastries, apple turnovers, raisin buns, drizzled with creamy sweet icing, and chocolate muffins, along with some cheesy garlic rolls to die for. Wow, a spread fit for a king! Sally gushed happily as they sat down, breathing in the fresh, clear country air and pouring some tea. Hey Sally, why are there 3 cups? Emma asked, slightly perplexed, as she savored one of the apple-drizzled tarts, clearly in food heaven. That is odd. I have no idea, Em. Perhaps James was going to join us. But that is so unlike him. He has never been around after setting up any meal for me. He just usually vanishes, like he was never here. It's weird, but I'm getting used to his quirkiness. The mystery of the third cup, Emma jokingly mused. Perhaps we are getting an unexpected visitor? Hopefully it's someone fun and exciting, who loves the oddities of life, just like us. Yeah, can't say I'm keen on the intrusion though, but life is full of surprises we normally shut out, so this could be interesting. Sally agreed, deep in thought. Or, it could just be a coincidence. Perhaps James was in a hurry and accidentally put out 3 cups. Sally did not believe in coincidences, at all. She unscrewed the flask of hot tea, and started pouring into the cups. Absent-mindedly, she even poured the 3rd cup. Oh well, that was not intentional, she exclaimed, laughing at her mishap. Well, anyhow, here's to our mysterious unseen guest. Sally chuckled as she clinked her cup with Emma's, and lifted it towards the 3rd cup in acknowledgement. Salute, Emma added happily, tucking into some more of the delicious pastries, and sitting back in her chair to admire the landscape and melodic river below. Sally, didn't you pour a full cup of tea into the spare teacup? I did. Just like the loony I am sometimes, yes. Why? Sally responded, looking over towards the empty teacup. That's odd. And the last chocolate muffin is gone too. We seem to have company, she said, checking under the table, just in case some sneaky animal was there. As she sat back up in her seat, she jumped back in shock. "Oh, Emma, look!" The leftover pastries had been stacked on top of each other, in a sort of pyramid shape. "Crap, Sally, why do these things always seem to happen when I'm around? You know the supernatural freaks me out, but intrigues me at the same time." No sooner had she uttered the words, when suddenly the cup went flying off the table, rolling down the hill into the river. "Come on, Sally, we have to get it back, before the cup owner gets annoyed and starts throwing our pastries around too," Emma said, half serious, but laughing now, as she ran off down the hill towards the river. "Catch it, Emma!" Sally shouted as she ran off after her crazy friend, also laughing at the ridiculousness of the whole dramatic incident. Normally people would be scared out of their wits, but this was all in the name of adventure for Sally, who enjoyed sharing her crazy with Emma. It made life so much more interesting and fun. The runaway teacup was now floating gleefully down the river, as if it had a mind of its own, with the two of them in hot pursuit. Sally was amazed it hadn't been broken on its trip against the rocks, but there it sailed, like a proud little steamship, bobbing in the current. What the actual heck? Sally wondered. This was clearly not natural. They followed it quite a few hundred meters down the river, around a few bends, and found it bobbing between two rocks. "Look, Emma, this rock seems to have some carvings etched into it. It has a dragonfly and the initials BMJ. Sally looked closer, goosebumps forming on her skin. This was no rock. It was an ancient tombstone. Shivers ran down her spine, and she outwardly shook her body in eerie reaction. Emma noticed Sally's shock and curiously leaned over to gently lift the teacup from the water, wondering why it had led them here. She glanced at the strange tombstone too, turning the teacup over in her hands as she did, and in utter disbelief, noticed the teacup had the same initials printed underneath. BMJ. And just above them was a picture of a dragonfly, just like the tombstone. Emma and Sally looked at each other in quiet disbelief. "This is something we have to solve, Sally. I can stay an extra week if you like. I'll have James make up the spare room for you indefinitely, Em." Sally smiled, glad her best friend shared her adventurous spirit, and suddenly glad they had a mystery to solve, thanks to the third teacup, and possibly the ghost of BMJ. How absolutely wonderful. Click like and subscribe. It's free, and it notifies you when I post a new story. More downloadable stories to read yourself can be found on my Patreon link. Thank you for listening.